What I want to share is a talk of Daisetz Suzuki titled Love and Power. This was done way back in 1950s, if I'm not mistaken, 1958, in Brussels. The whole document is a bit long, but this is the one I noticed in Daisetz's book in Japanese. So I translated, or the DeepSeek translated into English. Let me read the briefer version of this and my comment. Again, this is written in 1958. Never before in human history has there been a greater need for spiritual leaders and the elevation of spiritual values than in the contemporary world. That the world today is filled with a corrupt atmosphere of hatred and violence, fear and betrayal is solely because we have not sufficiently recognized this fact. Among the various spiritual values we can conceive of and wish to realize today, the most desperately needed is love. It is love that creates life. Without love, life cannot sustain itself. Around the 7th century, a philosophical system known as Kegon philosophy blossomed in Far East. Kegon is based on the idea of mutual penetration, mutual interdiffusion, mutual relationship, and mutual non-obstruction. When this philosophy of universal interdependence is correctly understood, love awakens, because love means recognizing the other and considering the other in all aspects of life. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This is the essence of love, and it arises naturally from the recognition of interdependence. Love is not a command given to us from outside. A command from outside contains the meaning of power. In contrast, love is always creative through self-denial. Love acts on its own without waiting for an external omnipotent entity. Love is life and life is love. Love expresses itself in various forms, seeking to give shape to life. Form is necessarily individual, and the discriminating intellect tend to regard form as ultimate reality. The concept of power is born from this. Love is affirmation, creative affirmation. Love never tends towards destruction and extinction because, unlike power, it embraces all and forgives all. Love enters into its object and becomes one with it. Love and creative power are two aspects of a single entity. But creative power is often separated from love. When this unfortunate separation occurs, creative power becomes associated with power. Power is subordinate to love and creative power. When power appropriates creative power, it becomes an extremely dangerous factor capable of causing all kinds of calamities. The concept of power necessarily arises from a dualistic interpretation of reality. When dualism refuses to acknowledge the integrating principle behind it, its inherent destructive tendencies are revealed, unrestrained, and unchecked. The concept of power rejects the spirit of personality, interdependence, gratitude, and various other mutual relationships. I believe it was Simone Weil who defined power as the force that turns persons into things. I would like to define love as the force that turns things into persons. Thus, love and power may seem fundamentally opposed. This is true to some extent, but in truth, love does not oppose power. Love envelops all and forgives all. For power to experience enlightenment, it must first remove its blindfold. Without this experience, the true form cannot be seen by power's myopic eyes. But love transcends power, because love penetrates to the core of reality and far surpasses the finitude of the intellect. It is infinity itself. Love trusts. It always affirms and embraces all. Love is life. Therefore it creates. Everything it touches is given life and heads toward new growth. Love flows from seeing reality correctly, just as it is. And it is also love that teaches us the following, namely, that we are responsible for everything done in this human society, for good or for ill. Therefore, we must strive to improve or remove all conditions that hinder the overall welfare of humanity and the full development of wisdom. So this is freely extracted from the page so-and-so in Daisetz's book, volume 14, The Complete Works of Daisetz. Later I found the English version, which I can post in the description. I guess I have some comment. I just cut it short and have the last sentence here. Summarizing the above in my own words, although logic works based on words, when this is done without the foundation of love and becomes linked with power, it brings suffering, afflictions, and unhappiness, both personally and socially, and causes deviation from the path of living correctly in accordance with Dharma. Thank you. May all beings be happy.